Hi, guys, and welcome back to A Perfect Life podcast, your podcaster's favorite podcast. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe and join the family. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And in today's episode, of course, you have me, the host, and we have a very special guest who is very dear to my heart. And I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this episode. I have my Sawira, my friend, Tina. Tina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Zoe. How
How
are
are
you? It feels like I haven't seen you. Okay, but anyway,
Yeah.
hi everyone. Please like, subscribe.
Enjoying the family. Yes, so we are so happy to have you on the show.
Thank
So
you.
feel free. I know this is something new to you,
Yes.
but we're just gonna have a conversation. So let me just give you a little bit of nuggets, in terms of our relationship with Tina. So I met Tina in uni. I think that on its own needs a podcast, an episode on its own. So yeah, we met
Yeah.
in 2012.
Yes.
And then we've been friends since then. She was part of my bridesmaid.
Mm.
And then, yeah, we
Two
are.
Jadas.
Exactly. So she's family. You know, those friends that, like, you kind of like graduate from being just a friend and to being a family member. So, yeah, that's Tina. So, Tina, I know quite a lot about you, and you know quite a lot about me.
Jehovah.
So, in today's episode, like I said, guys, we're gonna have so many conversations. Some that are a bit uncomfortable, some are just a lot of like lessons that we have learned in when we're younger. So, in
Okay.
today's episode, we are going to talk about
Dating.
exactly like just general.
Okay, I don't
dating.
know why I screamed dating, but yeah, we have to just address this. Like, dating when we're younger. I think what I'll tell my younger self, yeah, let's just talk about dating because I think there's certain things that you look at you now, you're married, the things that you have come through, and what made you just say, oh, Nyasha is the one for me, like for you to just easily say yes when he proposed. So, yeah, I think it's a topic of discussion, and if anyone has any comments to add, please do, because I'm still learning. She's now married, I'm not. So
Yeah.
I'm still learning. So
Yes.
yeah.
And I've learned also, during my
Yeah,
single
and I'm
days.
also learning from her. Like, I'm not yet married, but there's certain things about marriage that I'm also learning. So you find, like, with this whole dating thing, like, you still learn. Even when you found the one, there's still stuff to learn. So
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back, I think, from like, okay, let's just, for example, Tina, what would you tell your younger self about dating? Let's start from that point.
My younger self, I think I'll just tell them don't rush into anything too fast. And also, like, just try to see what you want. At first, like, you might not know what you want in a guy, but then as time goes by, you have seen, like, the relationships around you from your sisters, like, even your parents and other members, like, of your family, or even some friends. So you should just have that clear picture of what you're looking for in a guy and what phase of dating are you in. Are you in a phase of a rebound? Are you in a phase of trying to find a life partner? Are you in a phase that you just need companionship? And sometimes are you in a phase of you just need someone to just like have a situationship with, that kind of things. So like you just have to know like what you want. So my younger self, I'll just tell them like, you know what? Relax and date as much as you can. If it's not working for you, like don't force it, especially forcing something. If it's not working, it's not working. So because we tend, like, especially when we're younger, we would tend to be in relationships for a very very long time, and they won't be working. One, you're getting drained, and you find yourself you're in like 22 and you're now looking like you're 28 just because of a guy who's stressing you, and it shows on your face because stress, anything, it shows on your face, your body, everything. So I would say like don't give energy in things that are not giving you energy, like, because it's all a full circle. Like you need to give the energy that you're getting from that person. So yeah.
Okay, so I totally agree with you on that. I think if I am to look back and tell my younger self is everything it's not worth it.
Yes.
99% of relationships that you have in your teenage age, and then in your like early 20s,
Yeah.
they don't really matter.
They don't.
It's
And
just
they're
like
different.
playing house.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you always find like maybe a few people who make it to the altar, but it's not really important. Kind of like focus on yourself
That's
and
true.
invest, in yourself, because it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
of course, it's important to have that type of like experience to really know, like what you said, like to know exactly what you
What you
want.
want.
So sometimes you kind of like get all these things from an experience, like I think next time I want to get a guy
That's
who
true.
talks to me in a respective way. I
That's
didn't
so
like
true.
what that other person did, whatever. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that. So, do you have any? Of course, it's gonna be like two-way. You give an example. I'll definitely give an example. So, do you have any lessons? I would say, like, you can give us an example of a relationship that taught you certain lessons, and you let us know what lessons were they. Because I know, like I said, this is still educational
Yeah,
content, right?
yeah.
We also have people who are dating,
I
who are
am very, very
watching.
open. I'm an open book, so yeah, no filters here. so, so I do have relationships, like especially like I think in the last couple of years, like I could say last 5 years, because when I was younger, yes, I had the idea because like it was literally implanted in us, like to say, okay, as you're growing as a black girl, like you're growing. The only thing that she literally told like is marriage, 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 marriage. I know I have like my tete, like she started singing marriage to me like before I was even 20. So like in my head when I was dating back then, even in high school, anything, like I would just look at a guy and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I think he can be my husband and whatnot. But then I didn't really have any like life lessons or relationship to know like, okay, when a guy is shouting at you, it's not a good thing for him to raise his voice. He
So
needs
you,
to like
yeah.
communicate with you like
So sorry to cut you on that one. So it's more like you were superficial, like from the outside. You just look, he's cute,
yes, like
he's
he's
handsome,
cute, he's
tall,
handsome,
he's
he's
this.
tall, he's dark
That's
skinned,
it.
like you know, that
Instead of
kind of
like getting
thing.
to know
Yeah,
the
but
inner details.
yes, but then I would say like in my last couple of years, like let me just say 5, 6 years back, that's when I actually started like knowing like what I really want. In as much as I was getting older and everything, I just started knowing what I really want. Like I started accepting that when you meet someone, they're either a blessing or a lesson. So you're not just meeting someone just for meeting them. There's something that they're coming with. So there's certain things that I got to learn. Like especially, I can give an example of one of my, I can't say most recent relationship, but then like one of the few guys that I recently dated. With the guy, I had like to put a lot of effort to make it work. In as much as he was like, and he was the first guy that I dated who was like 6 years older than me. Because most of the times I would date people who are like within my age range, like a year older, maybe two. But then with that guy, I thought like, okay, he's mature, he's older. Like I just had that thought, like, okay, since he's an older guy, like he's 5 years older than me, he's definitely mature and whatnot. But that relationship showed me, that relationship showed me Pepe, like but then I accepted it because at the end of the day there were certain things that I learned not to settle for anything less than what I deserve. I learned that like reciprocity is like very meta. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but like to reciprocate whatever like that your partner is offering and what I'm also offering, it's such an important thing because like what I was saying earlier on about getting drained and everything. So like I actually had quite a number of lessons, and since that relationship, I started writing things down. Like I would
Yeah,
get
I know you
notebooks.
have a notebook.
Yes, until this very day, I have notebooks. Like literally every year, I think I'll spend like about money on 5 notebooks or something. So like I write things down to say, okay, you know what? I wouldn't want a guy to shout at me. I wouldn't want a guy to like talk to me like I'm a child, like or a guy who like when he's mad. Yes, I understand you need your space, like when you're mad to just like cool down. But then like when we're having a conversation to address the matter that happened between us, let's sit down like adults. Let's like discuss those areas. So I got to learn like communication matters, like going on dates is important, like also like and it's just not the guy who's supposed to like take me on dates. I can also do it. And I also just learned to accept like to let someone love me because
Exactly.
sometimes.
I wanted to say that point. Like, this is Tina. Yeah, let me just give you, for you to have an idea of, like, she's very independent. Like, from get go,
Yes,
she's
I was
just been
brought
like
up
that.
that way.
You know what? So Tina will be like, let's say she's on a date. Okay, Tina is on a date. Let's say the guy is, he's trying to pay for the bill. Okay, he's trying to pay the. Okay, so he looks into his right pocket. Yeah, there's no wallet. Whilst he's still trying to check if the wallet is in the second pocket. Okay, let's say he checks, he finds it. By the time he pulls out his wallet from his pocket, Tina is already paid. That's
Because
Tina.
I was brought up to be
I
independent.
get,
Like,
I get that, but remember, you have to give someone a chance to
yes,
express
I
their love,
do.
because
And
you know what, it can come out as being, like, aggressive, and somehow it kind of like messes with the guy's ego sometimes. Let them, if he says, oh, actually, I forgot my wallet. We know some people say they forgot their wallet
but they
whilst
didn't.
then you can step in. You
Yeah,
know what I
but then to
mean?
me it was like, why are you taking time? Like if it was
I
like if we're
know.
on a date, we have planned this. Why are you taking time to like, So like, and to me, I always grew up like, let me tell you one thing, and I'll also teach this to my kids, even your kids. If you have daughters, I'll also teach them this. Like, girls, please, whenever you go out with someone, be it being the richest guy that you might think you are dating on earth, always have some money of your own. You don't know what will happen where you go or whatever. Like, always have some money of your own to say, like, for instance, if you're on a date and then you guys maybe probably an argument starts when you're on a date. And then the guy is like that type of a guy who, whenever he's angry, he walks off. And then he walks off, he leaves you. You don't have money for Uber. You don't have even money for a bus. You don't even have money to call anyone or even airtime. So, like, always have money on you. That's what my mom always taught me from a very young age. Like, whenever I would go out with my friends, my mom always like, okay, did you carry some money, like even $10 or something? Because you don't know what will happen. So, like, for me, I always just thought a guy, like, supposed to be having his stuff in order. And then when the bill comes, why are we taking time? Why are we embarrassing ourselves in this fine establishment? Like have your money right there where you like.
I think I kind of remember an incident. Like, I can't really remember like who or what, but I remember at some point. Yeah. Oh my God! I think I said will you? I don't remember. But Tina was already ready to dive, and I'm like, oh my God! Can you
No, because he
just?
took his time. Like that's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
Like
oh my God, Tina,
why
Tina.
are you taking like it's like those guys like okay I know there's this person like my nail tech, she will always say this guy seems like he's got a plaster, like once he puts his hands in his pocket it's not gonna come out, like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
like why are you like taking time? So for me, like, but then I also got to learn like okay, that can also like how can I say, make a guy comfortable. He'll get used to you paying the bill. And then like whenever you go anywhere, the guy can now just like fold his hands like he's getting used to you, like okay, she's gonna pay. And he becomes so comfortable in it. That's like one thing that I learned from the relationship that I was talking about. Like that was one of the major things. Like the guy got so comfortable to a point like it was now draining me. Like we're using my car, we're using my fuel, like whenever we want to do something, it's me who's forking out money, like and when it comes to his friends, it's so easy for him like to even
Do
get a
it.
cab to go to his friends. When his friends are around, it's easy for him to buy drinks for his friends, but when I'm around he'll be like, oh, I don't have money and whatnot. So I actually got to learn like okay, sometimes just act as if, even if you have it, just act as if you don't have it. I'm not saying like all the time, but then like when you see like someone is becoming comfortable, just also say, okay, you don't have, so that you see where it's going. Because when I started saying I don't have, most of his true colors are actually started showing.
So maybe he wasn't even there for the right reason.
Like
You were
I
not a
don't know.
priority.
Yes,
You
I
felt like
wasn't.
that.
I wasn't a priority. Like that, I got to learn as the relationship was like progressing, and yeah, it did break my heart, but
But I actually think that, we have one God given important asset, which is called
yes,
gut.
Yes.
Your gut.
Yeah.
I feel like your gut
Will
tells
tell
you
you.
everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're just stubborn.
We're stubborn
like
because
to like I can't let go of this relationship. Maybe yes, 2 things out of maybe 5 things that I can't compromise
Yeah.
on. I remember, I don't know, maybe I read it somewhere where they say at least have maybe 3 or 5, whatever number, fixed, expectations from a relationship. Then you can have other variables that can be changed.
Yeah.
Right?
I call
Like
them
maybe showing
non-negotiables.
love, maybe the way people show love, that can be taught. But then how you communicate with someone, that goes back to your home training. That
Yeah.
goes back to how you were brought up. Like beating someone, that's like a no. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
no.
So you should and always learn to compromise on other things and have that spirit of giving someone a chance to learn, but like I said, not on the main ones. Like, you can't beat me, you can't talk to me in a certain way,
Yeah.
you have to do this, you have to do that. So yeah, it's good to see that, Tina, from all these experiences that you had, you actually grew from that.
Yeah, I
But
did.
I want to ask you, as much as you've written things down, right? Things like, I don't want to do this in my next relationship. I want to do this maybe differently in my next relationship. Because they always say when there's a breakup, it takes two to tango. Have you managed to action what you've written down? Because sometimes we can
Yes.
write things down,
And not
then you
act
feel
on
like
them.
you are single for a long
Yeah.
time. Now you are desperate, you just jump again, and then the same cycle
Cycle.
repeats itself.
Yeah.
So
I have actually like written things like all of like as the years are coming, like even till this very day, I think the things keep on changing. But I have like my non-negotiable things that won't change no matter what. Like I have like I can just mention like a few to say communication for me is a big deal. Like communicate with me as an adult. Let's sit down. Don't talk to me like as if I'm like your puppy, your little sister, or whatever. If we have an issue, let's sit down, let's sort it out, let's communicate like adults. Yes, and I accept, like, I've now learned to accept my own wrongdoings. So I also need someone, like, when we're communicating, they should also be able to accept their own wrongdoings. So that's like one of my non negotiable things. When I see that this person is not good at communication, like I will give you a chance of like 3 times, like to say, okay, the time that we have a very big argument, how are we solving this? Like, are we talking about it? Or when I try to talk about it, because guys have a thing of like when you try to talk about something that they have done or how they've made you feel, they brush it off like as if your
or
feelings
some they can
don't.
manipulate, they'll turn it,
Yes,
now
like
you are the
your
one in the
feelings
wrong.
don't matter, or you are the one in the wrong, or you're always nagging. But like, where did it start from? Like, where did it start from you to actually say I'm nagging? So like, I have to be with someone, like when I say like I don't feel this way, it's me who is feeling that way, not you. Because you also have your own chances, like where I might do a certain thing and then you're like, Tina is making me feel this way. I don't know how you feel. I don't know how I make you feel when I do that thing. But when you tell me, I have to also be able to adjust.
Yeah.
So communication is very, very important, and like how we talk also, like in that process of like trying to resolve, is very, very important. And my other non-negotiable things, you're supposed to be a very kind person, like very kind. Like being with someone kind, you can see it through an argument, like how they talk to you through an argument, or even how they treat other people around you. When you go to a restaurant, how they talk to the waiter, how they talk to even like the person who's cleaning, like when you're passing through a wet floor caution, like you're seeing someone wiping, like how you even just treat people around you shows me like how kind you are.
I see. Okay, great. So, like what you said, you really mentioned like important things not to compromise on,
Yeah.
right? But then, have you ever had a case whereby you literally went, like, what can I say? Like, okay, all right. So let me ask something different. Like I said, this is not a structured thing, guys. So we're just going with the flow.
Yeah.
So Tina, can you tell me 5 things that the people who are still dating, right, should avoid doing that you did? For example, maybe let's say sneaking out, going on a date, like things like that. Okay, so 5 things that
They should avoid.
avoid. Yes,
Okay.
of course. Maybe I'll say one. Avoid peer pressure. If
Yes,
people are dating
like
or
yeah,
your friends are dating,
that's
it
up there.
doesn't mean that
Yes.
you should go and involve yourself in a relationship.
That is totally like up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because peer pressure sometimes, like, it'll make you get in a relationship with someone, like, who's not for you.
Correct.
And you last in that relationship, and though God will have your partner waiting there for you, but like, you're just wasting your time with that person, like, just because, or even getting into a marriage just because my friends are getting married or something, and then you find yourself being divorced in a year, and you're like thinking, where did I go wrong? Not knowing like what you had done, like getting married to that person was because of peer pressure. So yes, there's peer pressure, but also I'd say avoid lying, like being sneaky. Like, when I'm saying lying, it's not just like about what you're telling me, also like just being sneaky, like you're hiding certain things. Like, if you want to be in a relationship that will last, be honest with each other. Like, you know what, especially like, let's say your background or certain friends or certain things, like just be honest, don't be sneaky about it. Like, for instance, like if you are my guy and then like you have a lot of female friends, and then like I don't know about this, but then like you're being sneaky even with the female friends like around me, like that's not being honest. Because if you just tell me like, okay, you know what, there's this friend of mine, there's this friend of mine, there's this friend of mine, like even when I see you talking to them or whatever, I won't feel some type of way, because like, oh, I know this perfect. Unlike when I don't know this perfect, but when you see perfect over there, you just like try to sneak to say, oh, hi perfect, how are you, like as if like perfect is like your side piece or something like that.
Okay, so we should not be sneaky, and then no peer
Sure,
pressure. What else?
yes. And okay.
What?
No, there's someone behind the camera,
Tell
guys.
us. We have Bruce behind
Yes.
camera.
Sorry, babe. So also like I would say, okay, so avoid peer pressure, avoid being sneaky and what's it called, being sneaky and lying, and also avoid being comfortable with just what you get in that relationship. Like the moment that you get in the relationship, there's a thing like, maybe the guy first date said come to my house, and then you get comfortable in that thing of just like going to his house for like dinner, lunch, everything. You're just doing it in the house. Guys, go out. Avoid doing things like in a confined space only. Like, go out.
Yeah,
So
plus I think it's already a red flag.
yeah,
Why am I
like
coming to your house? You know
exactly.
what I mean?
So like I would say avoid just being accustomed to just one way of like doing things as a romantic gesture. Explore.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Explore.
Point number four.
Yes, and point number four, I would say, avoid oversharing with people who are not part of your relationship. Like the next person who is not in your relationship, because you are in a relationship with Tina, you're not in a relationship with Perfect, you're not in a relationship with Bruce, you're not in a, even if Bruce is your twin brother, identical twin. Because the moment that you start oversharing things that are in our relationship, the way that Perfect looks at me,
Yeah, I'll
or
give you a
Bruce,
side eye
your
for
twin
sure.
sister, your twin brother, I mean, like looks at me, it'll be different. Like even your mom, when you tell them, like, this guy has done this, like, or this girl is treating me this way that that person will see you, even if you come and lobola me, like they'll still see me as someone who pesters their son, their brother, their friend. Like they won't really like me in that way. And I'm not looking for anyone to like me, by the way, in your family or your friends. But I'm just saying, like, avoid going through those boundaries. Like,
Uh-huh.
so it's more like I can just say, avoid stepping certain boundaries
Or
because
it's more like maybe blackmail or painting your partner
yes,
black.
because like your partner is supposed to be your person, like your person. Like at the end of the day, you come to your partner at the end of the day. Even if you go out wherever you go during the day, you're coming to your partner. And then the fifth
Fifth one.
thing, I would just say avoid
What?
uh, Okay, I'll just say it.
You don't want to
Avoid
say.
jumping into intimacy, like the
I want to say
sexual
avoid
intimacy.
both.
That's how I'm now putting it in a nicer way. Avoid intimacy, like immediately, like sexual intimacy, like coitus.
Man's what?
So avoid
Avoid
coitus,
both.
like immediately,
Bota
as
muri
it's
kudyeni.
not bad
Adi-
to have
Bota
coitus.
muri kudyeni. Avoid.
No, I'm not saying avoid it completely, but I'm saying when you are just getting in a relationship and you want a serious relationship,
I feel
like
like
I
that what you just said is another episode on its own.
yes, but I'm just saying like this is what I'll tell my younger self or other people who are still like, especially like if you're looking for someone who is serious or wants to take you seriously, avoid just jumping into coitus. Like
You know, when we're growing up, they say don't even greet a guy. If you greet a guy, you
you
go
get
pregnant.
pregnant.
So you
Exactly.
only be, do the whatever when you are in the house.
And you know what? For some people,
Yeah.
it's a different thing. Like, even though I might say avoid jumping into it immediately, yes, you can jump into it the next week or even the day after. But I'm just saying, like, it's something like if you really want to have a meaningful relationship, because guys are not programmed as we are girls. That's one thing for sure. For us girls, like, when you see a guy, you can see marriage even from day one. Like, you're already planning your wedding gown, everything. But for some guys, the moment a girl opens their legs on the first date, even like, and you're the girl who's looking for a serious relationship, but then the guy is probably also looking for a serious relationship, but then you open your legs from day one. That
Yeah,
guy
and
might
then
take it like as if like
well, the next day he blocks you, and then women
you
are
know
emotional, and so I
exactly.
think
So I think it's better to just take your time, and for some people it works even from day one. They can last for 15 years together. So but I'm just saying, like, sometimes it's just best to like learn this person, learn a few things about that person,
okay.
and date as much as many people as you want, because dating is not being committed to like one person. Dating is, you can have even three people because you're just going on a date to know if you
You
can
just
commit.
opened another can of worms, and that was the next question that I was going to ask you. I don't really know. Timekeeper, are we still okay? Okay. So thank you, Tina, for sharing your thoughts. Like I said, this
Thank you.
dating thing doesn't really have like a certain, SOP,
It
like like a
doesn't.
certain way.
It
People,
doesn't.
we all have our different opinions and our different
Yeah.
experiences. So, anyways, I was gonna ask you, Tina, that have you ever double dated, like literally dating two or more people, more than one person at the same time? And how did it go?
Ah.
And what
Well,
happens?
if I'm to be honest, I've never multi dated, but I have multi talked.
If you're already flirting, Tina, if you're already flirting or you're talking
Okay,
to
no,
others,
it's not
that's already
like it wasn't
cheating
flirting.
on your
Okay, it
partner.
wasn't flirting. I had just joined Tinder. I think it was 2 years back.
Tinder sponsored this episode. Yes.
I joined Tinder and then like like when you join Tinder, like it was my first experience because my friend was like, Tina, like you've been meeting guys everywhere and things don't seem to be working or whatever. Why don't you try online dating? And I was like,
Okay, so
cool,
I
I'm
think
here
I
for
think
it.
online dating, if you're not meeting the people, I
Like
think
for me,
it's
I
did you
took it
meet?
differently. No, we didn't. So that's why I'm saying
Okay,
like
I
I've
feel like that
multi
part you can't.
talked.
But you had a boyfriend.
No, I didn't have a boyfriend. I was single, so that's why I was on
Okay.
Tinder because I was looking for a boyfriend.
Okay, so you have never dated more than one
I have
person.
never dated more than one person because for me,
Okay.
like with dating, it's like we're trying to see where we are going, if we can be in a committed relationship. So I've never dated more than
One
one
person.
person at the same
Okay,
time.
great.
It's tiresome.
Another question. Have you ever been cheated on, and
Hey,
how did you
Jesus.
recover from that, and what happened? So tell us the juice.
Jesus.
In case there's
Hey,
someone watching and they
guys.
are just coming from a heartbreak, or in future they can learn one or two things.
Guys. Hmm.
What?
Man. Man.
What?
God. Do you know, like, this guy was cheating on me? We were in a long distance relationship, and then he was cheating on me. And then, like, the thing, like, when he was in SA, actually, I didn't know that he was cheating on me because he would give me that attention, like, it make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. Like, even he worked like crazy shifts. Like, he would still try to give me like that attention, like I would not suspect anything.
Oh, I know him. I just remembered. Okay.
So, but then, like, when he came to Zim, because I was in Zim at the time, and then he came to Zim, Jehovah, my gut, ladies, your gut, those your intestines, eh? Believe them. Believe your intestines.
So you found out he
My
was cheating.
gut, like, yeah. So he put my fingerprint on his phone. He put, like, I had all the, like, login credentials to his phone, right? And then, like, he was like, hey, you can go through my phone any day, anytime. I even had my own folder of pictures that was written sweetheart, like, sweetie
You feel
pie,
like I've arrived.
and I was like, I have,
This is it.
like, this is it. This is my
My
man's. Marriage, it will happen soon.
Nah, man. What's the name of that song? My man, what? Okay.
And my man, na man. Guys, don't say my man when they have not put a ring on your finger. Do not say my man because it will be our men. I found out it was our men. Like, I don't know what you say to me, like, on that day.
And how did you feel when you found out?
Do you know, like, I was reading the messages a few days, like, the day that he actually came, they were like, they had seen each other, and then they're like telling each other, like, safe flight, travel well, like, babe.
I have a question on that. Sorry to cut you. So literally you sneaked to check
I
his
didn't
phone.
sneak. He
So
had
how did
given
you
me
find-
permission. I
to
had my
go through?
fingerprint. So he told me, like, any day, anytime that
You
I
get-
feel
no.
like I can go through his phone.
Correct. What made you go through his phone?
My gut was on that day. Like, okay, I think from the time that we woke up, that day, I don't know, there was something that was just like,
So question again. So I'm now
my
giving you back to
intestines.
back. So now, do you think it's a good thing for people out there to go through their sport, like what do you call
If
it,
your
their boyfriends
intestines
or
are telling
whatever
you,
phones?
if your intestines are telling you, my sister, go through that phone. Like, go through it. If
Hey.
your intestines,
Yeah.
believe it.
So,
Because, guys,
when you went through the phone,
I
what
went
happened?
through the phone. He was driving. And I'm sitting on the
Oh my
passenger side.
God.
And I don't know what just told me. Because, like, at first, I had his phone, right? Like, we had taken pictures with his phone. Because at that time, he had a phone that had a nicer picture quality than mine. And then, like, we took pictures, like, when we had gone for, like, ice cream and whatnot. And then I was now checking,
phone.
the photos, like, to say, okay, let me see how our photos came out. And then the next thing, I think, like, it just zipped in his head, like, maybe I spoke to this girl yesterday, like the other girl, or like, oh my God, she might just go through my phone. And then he just, like, grabbed the phone from me as he was, like,
He
as
snatched
he was
it.
driving, like, holding one hand on the steering, like, snatched
his
it.
phone,
And then,
yeah.
and I'm like, why are you just grabbing the phone from me like that? I was looking at the pictures, and he actually could see I was looking at the pictures. And then he's like, no, I just need to do something. And I'm like, okay, as you're driving, you need to do something on your phone. Like, we have a no phones on. And we actually did have the no phones on because I was the one who was always driving. So he would always tell me, like, babes, no phones on, no phones on. Like, okay. And we're like, cool, fine. And then he did what he did. And I think he actually ran to, like, delete maybe the messages from yesterday or in the morning or something. Then he gave the phone back to me. Then my gut was just like, go to his WhatsApp because I don't think, like, this boy was doing anything, like.
Okay. So you went to his WhatsApp.
And then I went
checked
to
the
his
messages,
WhatsApp,
and then what
and
happened?
then we have our own way of being sneaky to find those sneaky people. Like, and then I just searched what I searched, and I saw it, and I'm like, seeing even the days that I was with him and Zim, he's still having, like,
Contact
those
with
romantic conversations with the person.
Okay.
And then
so
I'm like,
so now tell us the juicy part. I'm now curious of time. You see, this episode is quite. It's gonna be long. So you caught him like
and then I'm
red-handed, like literally,
yes,
dude.
and I'm
These are the
like,
messages.
I didn't say those are the messages. I'm like, who is perfect? And then, like, what do you mean who's perfect? Like, I'm saying, who is perfect? A girl. Like, okay, so let me use Shona
Yeah,
name
it's okay.
because it was a unisex name. So perfect is like
Okay.
a girl, right? But then it was a unisex name. I'm like, let's say, I'm like, who is Tafadzwa? And then he's like, what do you mean who's Tafadzwa? Like, which Tafadzwa are you talking about? I was like, the girl Tafadzwa in your phone. Who is Tafadzwa? Like, And then he's like, uh, she's my best friend's sister. And I'm like, oh, your best friend's sister, and you guys call each other babe, you guys see each other before going, like, you traveling, like, you tell each other I love yous and whatnot. He was like, no, the girl has got a crush on me for a very long time. Since I've known the brother, the girl has always had a crush on me. And there's a time that, like, she was threatening to tell the brother that, like, we kissed and I don't want to ruin my relationship with my best friend, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh, so even when she was threatening to, like, tell the brother, like, you guys kissed and whatnot, you still couldn't end it and tell her, like, you have a girlfriend or anything. Like, when I told her that I have a girlfriend, she tried to commit suicide. Because, eh?
No.
She tried to commit suicide when I told her that I have a girlfriend. So I just let her play the role of being my partner, and I talk to her every day, but I don't call her babe. I'm like, did I not see what I saw? Like,
So then, Tina, you hear that now. Did you tell him to stop the car and then you jumped off?
it was
Or
my car,
what
so I could have
happened?
just told him
You
to,
did
like,
to just
yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, we had actually gone to pick up his dad from the airport.
Oh my goodness.
So
you had to play cool.
I had to play it cool from the time that I saw it until we went to drop off his dad. And then, like, when we dropped off his dad, afterwards, he was like, what's going on? I know we need to talk because, like, you have been a bit quiet from the time that we picked my dad from the airport. And I'm like, yeah, we do need to
This is
talk.
the situation.
And then I laid everything, and I didn't even shout or anything. I just laid everything. That's when I asked who is Tafadzwa. That's when, like, the whole conversation
So did you
happened.
break up right there?
We didn't break up right there. And then, like, that was, like, something that, like, even my younger self, I wish they knew. Because, like, that was, like, back in, like, 20, what? It's been a while. I don't even want to think about it, Sif. Yeah, it's been
So you gave him
years.
another chance.
I didn't give him another chance. Like,
So what
like, we were
Wanted
supposed
work
to.
things out?
No, he wanted to work things out. But in my head already, I had said, like,
Okay.
it's
So
not
you
going
broke up with him in
anywhere.
your mind, but you didn't tell him that
I
day.
didn't tell him on that day, like, like, I was like, okay, maybe I'm overreacting. Like, let's leave this place with where the parents are and whatnot, and then we go talk. Like, that's what he had actually said. Like, okay, let's talk while we're not here, what. Because maybe, I think he assumed I was gonna shout or whatnot. But then, like, I'm a very calm person. Like, if you're to have an argument with me, even, like, I don't even, like, I like my peace. My peace. So I just try to, like, make sure, like, we go sit somewhere and then we talk. And then I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then he's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try and do better. I can even call the girl today with you around and then talk to her and tell her, like, now I'm being serious and whatnot. But I'm just scared, like, she's like, like a suicide or risk or something like that. And then I was just like, you know what? I don't think, like, the moment that you go back, it's not gonna work. Even if you stay here, it's still not gonna work. I don't think I can do this.
But I like how you broke up with him. It's not like you fought or you made a
No,
whole
I
scene.
didn't
It's
even.
yes, of course. I'm sure you went home and it took you some time to heal and
Yeah.
stuff. But I like the fact what I've learned from there, or is that you don't necessarily have to be like bitter and like be that angry person like Gindagoria. They say in Shona, like you become a Gindagoria
Like,
after
yeah.
breakup. Every next person who is coming,
Coming, yeah.
you'll finish them. You'll go finish.
But I was off long
Finish
distances
them.
for a while. After that relationship, I was off long distances for a while because I was like, I would rather have someone dealing with someone, like, here with me in the same, like, space, even if they're in a different city than me. I would rather, like, our BS, we can deal with it, like, easily. So I got to a point where I was like, I would rather not be in a long distance relationship anymore. After that, I was like, I'm off long distances. I didn't even want anything. Like, I remember I had a junior school crush of mine who was in Australia, and then, like, he was like, hey, we'll get married, I'll make your papers. And I had a big crush on him, and he also had a big crush on me. But I was like, Lord, may this cup pass me. Like,
Yeah,
Make it
on that
pass.
point, is crush love.
No, it's not.
Because
It's
you know what?
lust.
Because you know what? Because I've seen some people who pursue their crush and they get crushed. You
Yeah,
get my
it's
point. So I wanted to
lust.
ask, like, if
It's lust. That's
if there's been
lust.
a situation whereby you get a crush with someone and then finally you get a chance of maybe having,
Yeah, I
to date
did.
them.
I did. And it didn't
Okay.
work.
For me,
Like,
what happened, I used to have a crush, like there's a crush that I used to have. But then when it got to a point where he, asked me out, like, a little bit later, I was like, huh?
nah.
No. No.
Like, this is not my
I
cup
was just
of
like,
tea.
oh, what? No. But you see, the naive me, like the younger me, maybe if he had asked me right away, I was just
You
gonna
were
jump
going
into
to
it.
jump into it. Like, that's the
Exactly.
thing. Like, when we are younger, like, we always had that thing. Like, if your crush or the finest guy in the school or whatever ask you out, you jump into it because mostly crushes are mostly about looks. They're not, because
Absolutely.
you don't know the person like deep down or anything. Remember my crush now.
Which one?
Remember my uni
Huh?
crush.
Huh?
Remember my uni
I
crush.
can't say.
And then
Ooh,
like the moment that we
Rick
kissed.
Ross.
No, 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 not Rick Ross.
Guys, not the Rick Ross,
Not Rick Ross. Remember that
I think it's
fine
just
bobo.
which
Finest
one?
bobo.
Ah,
You remember in uni,
ah,
finest bobo.
I
Uh-huh.
see that one.
So like crushes are more like just
Ah,
finest.
yeah.
And guys, I kid you not. If I was to state the name of where I'm saying finest bobo, ask
No,
anyone,
no,
they'll tell you
the guy was fine.
he would
He
even
used
win
to,
awards for being
he
the most handsome.
correct, and how he used to
Huh?
carry himself. And the funny thing is now, somehow, he like we kind of like started talking with this guy, and then Tina of course told me every time like, I like this guy, I really like this guy because he was in medical school, you were also in
In
medical
my
school.
country.
So I was like, okay. So when I started talking to this, he was like, you know what, perfect. There's this friend of yours, Tina. Huh? You know, you should connect us. Maybe we can go on a date. The first one we can be the three of us.
Guys, let a crush be a crush.
When I told him, I'm like, your prayer has been
What's
answered.
that? Let a crush be a crush. Guys, let me tell you. Let a
Yeah.
crush be a crush. Yes, you can pursue it. It might work out, but
Yeah.
let a crush be a crush.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so too. Like crush, I just cry because I feel like younger people, the
Yeah.
younger us, we wouldn't date both
Yeah,
our
I
crushes for
wouldn't.
sure.
I wouldn't even want to even be that close
Okay.
in any way.
Yeah. Then another thing, Tina, is that what's your take on dating someone maybe who doesn't introduce you to their friends or family, or do you think it's too much for younger people who are dating to be introduced to a family member or family members or
Yeah,
friends?
I think
What's your thought on that?
when you're still young, I would say like it's a premature thing to like, especially introducing to your parents. Like I think it's a premature thing when you're still young. Like as I said, like most of the times you don't really know what you really want until you've figured out like, okay, I'm in this relationship for marriage, like, and both of you are on the same page, not just one person, like, because the girl might be in it for marriage, the guy might not be in it for marriage, the guy might be in it for marriage and vice versa, like the girl's not in it for marriage. So like if you're in both on the same page to say, you know what, I think we are now at the level of our relationship to like get married and whatnot, or we want to get married in the near future, yes, you can introduce each other to your parents. But then, like, if you're not, like, guys, do not go through that. Like, imagine how many potential in-laws, like,
But I think also to a certain extent it kind of helps, getting introduced. It kind of like, but it doesn't stop someone from cheating on you. But then it's like there's that kind of accountability that's there.
nah, not in Harare,
It kind of protects.
not in Zimbabwe,
Yeah,
not in
but I'm just
Harare.
saying like it protects. I feel like the whole thing here kind of like protect the girl child, or if there's like problems that are there, there might be someone who can who is mature enough to maybe
I
advise you or
would say
something.
introduce
I
them
don't
to
know.
your elder siblings. If you want to go that
No,
route of family,
I'm not saying just parents, like family members and friends. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah, you with your
because
siblings,
sometimes you
you
know
can.
what, being a secret, it's not really
Yeah, with
it's
your
not really a
siblings, you
cool
can,
idea,
but the
especially
parents,
after a certain number of years or whatever, or I don't know. I think it's important for you to know someone.
yeah,
If he
but not
keeps
in
on
Harare.
putting you under the same rag,
Not in
then I don't
Harare.
know. But I'll just say, like, of course, if you're young, stay away from that. But if someone is serious enough, they cannot hide you.
Yeah, they
So on
can't.
that hiding aspect, what's your take on um, social media in terms of sharing who you are dating?
I would say privacy. There's a difference between a secret and privacy. Like sometimes don't be a secret. I would say don't be a secret girlfriend, like where no one knows you or anything. Yes, people should know. Like, for instance, I can give an example of myself right now. Yes, I'm in a relationship, but it's not out there like I don't post every time about it. I have got my group of close friends, like where if I want to post on social media, like that's the good thing about social media now. You can block certain people from not seeing like what's going on. Because I always have like people who are ready to call me to
So when
say,
I'm,
when are you
so when are
bringing
we going
that
to
guy
see him when he puts
over?
a ring on it?
Ah, yes. Or on our wedding day, safe. Putting a ring on it is not even important. On our
After
wedding
you have signed
day.
the marriage certificate, you have graduated.
Hello, auntie. On our wedding day.
That's
That's
when
what,
you.
like, it's not like people, like, the people who are close to me, they know the person. My family, some of my family members, they do. But then, like, for me to just put it out there, because I have vouchers who are, like, literally waiting to hear, like, okay, we're about to chow lobola money now. Like, so I can't put that guy through that because I also know my family. So it's something like it's more like I'm protecting him as well from all of that, because what if at the end of the day he doesn't commit in that way, because
So
he might change his
you
mind.
don't want to introduce five, maybe, for example, boyfriends to the internet, to us
Ex-
internet community, your
yes,
internet family.
exactly.
You just want to announce the one.
That's the thing. I've done that. Yes, in my previous relationships, I've posted like I didn't even do the close friends thing. I'll just post like, and you know, like the next thing you're out there, like maybe you're even on a date, and like someone will come there. Some people don't have filters. They'll come, or maybe you're with a group of friends, and then maybe you're with a guy that you're currently dating to see if you guys can get in a relationship, or there's a guy on that table who's trying to ask you out, and then one of your random loudmouth friends comes and just says, Koningi, how far? And like you're thinking, my guy, I broke up with that guy, like, but 20 man, you still had so young, and like you're chasing away my,
Yeah.
like my potential, like,
Uh-huh.
so like putting it out there, like, especially on social media, I don't think it's a good thing because
Yeah.
I just don't.
I just hit, I don't know, maybe it could be, are we still okay on time? Okay. So I wanted to ask you, like, what's your take on girls or guys who date expecting financial support from their significant other? It can be both, because now guys, they also do it, you know.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, and how can people be navigate through that, or at least pick up on the red flags?
That one is just a topic, like, I think the whole topic for
On its
another
own.
day. Because, like, when it comes to dating, like, I think when you're in a relationship now, after the dating phase, when you now get to commit to that person that you're now calling your boyfriend or your girlfriend, I don't think someone should ask for anything, like to say in a financial way. Someone should, like, your partner should just do certain things for you, even if they're financial things. They should do it out of the bottom of their heart. You don't want that person to resent you, because when at the end of the day, like when that person is, when you actually find out that they were just in it for money and they leave you, like, because definitely they'll leave you at some point, like when you're not able to cater for all of their needs. So like when they leave you, there's that resentment that you have for that person. And sometimes just having that, I think it's a bad aura to have when someone just resents you for something, and in your own life maybe certain things are not going well because that karma is now like following you and whatnot. So I think like you should see the red flags from the dating phase, like can I please ask you for a favor, can I please like even like you should be able to see those red flags from the dating phase before
The
you
gut.
actually commit.
I
Your
think
intestines.
keyword for today is the gut,
Intestines.
hashtag the gut, hashtag the
The
intestine.
intestines.
I think that's like your guidance
Like,
into
yeah, because
relationships.
let me tell you something. Like, there are certain things like with the guts, it's not even, guys, trust your intestines. Because I remember there's a time, like, even in my current relationship, there was just something that was telling me something is off, something is off. And I went to look for it, and I found it that something was off. So, like, you guys, your intestines. It wasn't something off, like, in a bad way, but it was something like we are unlearning and learning because both of us, we have been through it. So like we're like, okay, this is what we both want. We put it on the table. This is what we both want. And like, okay, I see this person doing certain things. Like, remember what I was saying, like to say for instance boundaries, to say for instance communication. And like you just be seeing like something is off. And then you get to pinpoint like, so it's the communication. Okay, this person is like not being honest. Like, let me just find like, am I the problem or is something like?
Yeah.
So like, if your gut is telling you like something is just off, yes, I would like I would definitely confront my partner like, I think Omo, come, let's sit
Yeah,
down.
so I think it's important. I think with everything that has been said, I think it's important maybe for you also in the beginning of a relationship to express how you want to be loved. It doesn't mean like they're gonna do everything, but there are
Everything, no,
basic
they
things
won't.
like what we said in the beginning
Yeah.
of the episode. Like there are basic things that are fixed, like like fixed assets, like what we have like fixed
Yeah.
and current assets, fixed stuff and variable stuff. Exactly. So that's the same thing. Like don't compromise with some of the important
And
things.
do not
So
compromise.
so, Bruce, I think now we are almost running out of our time, guys. I know this episode was full and packed. I don't know, Bruce, do you have anything to say behind the scenes?
No.
No question whatsoever.
He was nodding his head, shaking his head throughout.
Yes.
So I think he had things that he was agreeing
Yeah.
with and not agreeing with.
Correct.
But I think mostly he agreed with us.
So, guys, we have come to the end of this episode, and we didn't even structure it at all. Everything just, it was
It
just like
wasn't.
conversational and on the go. Tina, I want to thank you so much for your honesty and for sharing your experience, for sharing your wisdom with us. You know what I mean? I'm sure our audience will be able to pick a few things to learn from
hope
you.
so.
Like what she said, like, there's no like a certain way that it has to be done in dating.
Yeah, there's no
it's
formula.
tailor-made by how you want it and what you expect in your life. So Tina, thank you so much, and I hope you're gonna come back again, and I hope you had fun on the show.
I hope so. I did. I just wish there was wine.
So we can
Probably I would have overshared.
Yes.
But I'm kidding. But I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed it. Like, I really don't like being in front of the camera. Like, I usually like being behind the scenes, but I actually enjoyed it. And thank you for having me on a Perfect Lives podcast. And guys, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button
Yes,
to our YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, before we go, where can people find you?
Oh, I think on all my social media platforms, I'm Tina Audrey or T Audrey, like, yeah. So it'll be like TEE and then Audrey AUDREY. So it's either T Audrey or Tina Audrey. Like, there's no H after the Tina, so it's just Tina Audrey, yeah.
Okay.
So on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, yeah, there's Threads now.
Yeah. So guys, please, those are the handles for Tina. Make sure you follow her, get to know her. Anyways, until next time. Oh my God, I don't want to say bye.
Don't worry, we have been sleeping around 4, 5 a.m. for the past 2 nights.
I think we need to even jump into another topic, another episode before Tina leaves. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.